Effective leaders are aware of the impact that culture can have on interactions in the workplace and the success of business overall. They recognize and appreciate both the similarities and the differences between people and know how to bring diverse people from different backgrounds and perspectives together.
One of the most important cultural aspects facing businesses today is that of generational differences. According to the studies by the National Center for Public Policy, the American workforce is becoming increasingly diverse. There are now up to 5 different generations represented in the workplace, each with their own unique experiences, perspectives, characteristics, and traits.
Intergenerational conflict can have a negative effect on employee engagement. It is important for leaders to be flexible and recognize the underlying needs of each of the generations to fully appreciate and engage employees at all levels. Let's take a closer look at the 3 generations that make up the vast majority of today's workforce.
The baby boomer generation began with a spike in birth rates immediately after World War II and continued through the mid-60s. Boomers were impacted by world events such as the Vietnam War, the Civil Rights Movement, the moon landing, and the Cold War. The economy was strong, and jobs were more plentiful than in their parents' generation. Therefore, baby boomers are career and goal-oriented, optimistic, and value personal growth. Boomers value hard work, sometimes at the expense of their personal life, and want job security. They were raised with the idea of the American dream, and they pushed themselves to reach their goals. Despite all the technological advances during their lifetime, boomers prefer face-to-face communication, as well as phone calls and emails. They believe that teamwork is best accomplished in person. They may prefer working in the office versus remotely, and see digital forms of collaboration as less effective. As leaders, they may struggle with managing in a virtual or hybrid environment, and as employees, they may feel the need to be seen to be valued. However, boomers tend to be resourceful and will use technology and tools that are available to them. In the workplace, baby boomers want to be heard and valued. They want to be respected for their knowledge and skills and experience. Boomers enjoy rewards and recognition for hard work and good performance. This includes tangible items versus digital-only recognition. In terms of benefits, boomers are preparing for their next phase of life and therefore value retirement benefits, such as a 401k match, as well as health insurance. Baby boomers are motivated by company loyalty, teamwork, and duty. Their leaders should provide them with specific goals and deadlines, offer coaching-type feedback, and leverage their experience by trying to give them opportunities to mentor others.
Generation X is the first demographic cohort following the post-World War II baby boom and represents a generational change from the baby boomers. Members of Generation X were born between the mid-60s to the early 80s and are known for being independent, tech-savvy, pragmatic, and confident. Members of Gen X grew up in a time when there were more dual-income families, single-parent households, and children of divorce when boomers were growing up. Consequently, many Xers were latchkey kids, spending the day without adult supervision. Much of their independence is attributable to the latchkey experience many shared. Xers were the first generation to grow up with personal computer systems, thus becoming tech-savvy. They also experienced shaky economic times as children and young adults in the 1980s and 90s. Outside the home, Xers have been shaped by the AIDS epidemic, the fall of the Berlin Wall, and the dot-com boom and bust. Individualism is one of the defining traits of Xers and reflected in their entrepreneurial spirit, how they communicate, and how they prefer to work. 55% of all startup founders are within Generation X. Accompanying this entrepreneurial spirit, Xers value efficiency in getting their work done and communication style. Xers also value autonomy in how they work and are comfortable working alone. They also tend to change jobs frequently, every 3 to 5 years. Another defining trait of Xers is their goal to maintain a healthy work-life balance. They're unwilling to sacrifice family time in order to further their career. They are protective of their time and are not afraid to establish a barrier between their work and personal lives. To ensure that they make it to their child's soccer game or to watch them at the baseball field, they strive to be efficient, streamlined, and to the point. It is important to keep these things in mind to understand the communication style of an expert. They prefer communication that is most efficient, including phone calls and face-to-face. Employers should give Xers immediate feedback, provide flexible work arrangements to foster work-life balance, and extend opportunities for personal development.
Millennials were born in the 1980s and 1990s. As such, they grew up in an increasingly digital world. The invention of social media, along with smartphones, has made them globally aware. They have become used to being connected, whether virtually or in person, on a more global scale than ever before. This, combined with major events happening in their childhood and early adult years, such as the Great Recession, terrorist attacks, and school shootings, has really shaped their mindset and instilled in them a great desire to make a positive impact in the world. Millennials grew up with parents who spent a good deal of time focused on their families. The parents of millennials tended to be very involved in the school and activities of their children. As a result, millennials tended to have remarkably close relationships with their parents, even as adults. Millennials have developed a collaborative nature from these relationships, which is also aided by the increase in connectivity from various social media platforms. In the workforce, it is important to provide millennials with flexible work arrangements, both in the hours they work and the location they work from. Having a more casual dress code is also enticing to them. For millennials, it is about the results rather than the number of hours worked or what they were wearing. From a benefits perspective, things like paid time off, volunteer time off, and matching charitable gifts are important to them. Millennials tend to value working as a team and collaborating with their fellow employees. Having recurring touchpoints and team meetings is important to allow them to have their opinions heard and to engage with their coworkers. Millennials want to know the mission and purpose of the company, and they want it to align with their values. Millennials value opportunities for growth in their career. It is important for managers to keep them busy in the workplace with new challenges each year. Millennials do not want to feel stagnant and value growth-oriented companies investing in the latest cutting-edge technology, which will provide them with the opportunities they desire. Access to more experienced coworkers, including upper management, their own manager, and mentors, is important to millennials and fits in with their collaborative work style. Managers providing frequent constructive feedback to their millennial employees is particularly important to keep them focused and engaged.
While it is important and helpful to understand how culture, values, and upbringing can affect work style and preferences, it's also important not to allow these stereotypes to dictate management style. Instead, it's crucial to understand and recognize the individual preferences of each team member. Managers need to listen, observe, and build relationships in order to identify the underlying needs and values of each member of the team.
Here are several tips for engaging a multi-generational team. Encourage a hybrid work environment. Offer flexibility for some to work in the office while others work remotely. Be sure to schedule times when everyone is together for face-to-face collaboration, relationship building, and social interaction. Offer communication through a variety of mediums, such as face-to-face, phone, email, and Teams. Supply information in a variety of formats. Some like printed materials, others prefer virtual. Manage conflicts if it arises. Allow each person to share their point of view and look for win-win solutions. Build flexibility into benefits programs by empowering employees to make choices based on their individual preferences. Capture and value the knowledge and experience of boomers. Capture and value the efficiency and innovation of Gen Xers. Capture and value the energy, optimism, and creativity of millennials.
Generational diversity is very important from a company's perspective as well. Employees bring skills and knowledge to the table regardless of the generation they're from. Embracing generational diversity may help keep a company's employees engaged and actively contributing to the growth and success of the company. This in turn may also improve employee retention. From a hiring perspective, if a candidate feels they will be valued, they will be more likely to accept an offer and the company will remain competitive. Knowledge sharing and succession planning are other benefits generational diversity offers to a company. Employees from the Boomer and Gen X generations have accumulated plenty of knowledge and experience from all their years of working in their respective careers. This can be extremely valuable to millennials, who tend to be very open to mentorship and feedback. Embracing all generations can also help keep the company in tune to the needs of different target markets and keep them competitive from a sales standpoint. To summarize, of course, not everyone within a generation is the same, but it can be helpful to understand certain differences and characteristics across the various generations. Embracing these differences within a company is not only the right thing to do, but it can also add value.
Supporting and managing multiple generations can present a range of challenges for company leaders. By being mindful of individual preferences and investing in personal relationships, managers can benefit from a diversity of ideas and opinions, which can in turn drive success.